All right, diving right in today. We've got a fascinating figure, Joseph Henry.
Oh, a great choice.
So maybe not a household name like, I don't know, Thomas Edison, but man,
Wow.
his discoveries, just as electrifying, honestly. We're working from this biography a listener sent in.
Okay.
And get this, built one of the first electric motors.
You know, what's really amazing is how Henry's work just quietly shaped our modern world.
Yeah.
I mean, we take electric motors for granted now, but
Totally.
back then,
Yeah.
revolutionary concept.
Absolutely revolutionary. And there's more.
Oh.
He might have actually discovered, get this, some key electromagnetic principles even before Faraday.
For the famous Faraday.
Talk about ahead of his time.
Wow.
So let's rewind a bit, right? Start with Joseph Henry, the man himself.
Right.
Born in Albany, New York. His family, they struggled financially, especially after his father passed away young.
It's often these challenging circumstances that really forge incredible resilience, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
He had to grow up fast, took on all sorts of jobs to help out, even apprenticed as a watchmaker, a silversmith. When he was just 13, can you imagine?
The precision and focus that requires.
It's unbelievable. It's incredible to think that someone from those humble beginnings could go on and make such groundbreaking discoveries.
Yeah.
And speaking of different paths, did you know he almost became an actor?
Was that right?
Had a real passion for theater.
It's true. It's true. Makes you wonder, what kind of scientific discoveries we might have missed out on
I know.
if he'd chosen the stage instead of the lab.
Right. What a different world that would be. But luckily for us, for science.
Yeah, luckily for us.
At 16, he stumbles upon this book of scientific lectures, and boom!
Sparks that passion.
Ignites a passion for a different kind of performance, the performance of scientific inquiry.
That's a great way to put it.
That book changed everything. He enrolls at Albany Academy. And even though he was still facing those, financial challenges, he absolutely crushed it.
He excelled, huh?
Academically, he was a star.
Natural talent shining through.
And sometimes, get this, he even ended up teaching his own teachers.
Wow. Teaching the teachers, huh?
Yeah.
That's something else.
Talk about a bright mind.
From a young age, clearly evident.
Yeah. Albany Academy was his entry into this world that would become his life's work. And it was there that he really dove headfirst into electromagnetism.
The world of electromagnetism. Ah, yes.
Now, this is where things get really supercharged, right?
Right.
Back then, scientists, they were experimenting with these electromagnets, but they're big and bulky, not very powerful.
Limited in their capabilities.
Right. But Henry, he figures out how to make them much, much stronger.
How do you do that?
His breakthrough. Realizing that by tightly coiling insulated wire around an iron core, he could just boom.
Amplify the magnetic force.
Amplify that force.
Yeah.
Seems so simple now, but at the time,
A revelation.
revolutionary. His design surpassed even William Sturgeon's electromagnet.
Sturgeon, considered the leading expert at the time.
State of the art, and Henry just blew it out of the water.
Wow.
So before Henry, you're trying to experiment with these giant, clunky electromagnets, right?
Right.
They were limited in what they could do. But Henry's design, it's like going from, I don't know, a horse-drawn carriage to a sports car.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. A quantum leap in technology.
It revolutionized the field.
Opened up so many possibilities.
Suddenly, scientists had these powerful tools.
Yeah.
It paved the way for technologies we use every single day.
Think about it.
I mean, electric motors, generators, MRI machines.
All relying on those principles that he pioneered.
With his electromagnet.
Amazing, isn't it?
And it doesn't stop there. His work with electromagnetism led him to another remarkable discovery. Self-inductance.
Self-inducted. No, wasn't that Faraday's claim to fame?
You're right. Faraday's typically given the credit because he published first.
Right.
But some historical records actually suggest that Henry might have observed it earlier.
Oh, interesting.
Even though he didn't, publicize his work as widely.
Sometimes these scientific breakthroughs, they happen in parallel, don't they?
It's true. But Henry was really pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
Absolutely.
His creativity didn't stop with just making powerful magnets. He actually used them to build something incredible.
Wow. What's that?
One of the first electric motors.
No way.
Yeah.
This is, early days of electric motors.
This device, he called it the rocking electromagnet. It demonstrated how you could convert electromagnetic force into motion.
Okay, so I'm picturing like a giant magnet rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
What did this thing actually look like? How did it work?
Imagine a simple seesaw, right?
Okay.
Now replace the kid on one side with an electromagnet, balance it on a pivot. He connected wires from each end of the magnet to separate battery cells.
Okay.
And when the current flowed through those wires,
Yeah.
the magnetic poles would shift, making the magnet rock back and forth.
So by switching the direction of the current, he could control the motion of the magnet.
Exactly.
Pretty ingenious.
It's a simple concept, but it was so important
It laid the groundwork,
for the development of electric motors.
which power everything today.
Everything. Our household appliances, electric vehicles,
And all goes back to this, huh?
powerful electromagnets, a precursor to the electric motor, and the discovery of self-inductance, all from this one guy just tinkering away in his lab.
It's remarkable.
But his story doesn't end there.
Oh, not at all. Henry's journey took him from those early breakthroughs to Princeton University. His impact on science just continued to grow.
Princeton. Okay, now we're talking.
Big stuff. His success with electromagnetism, well, it opened doors to a whole new chapter for him.
Yeah.
A professorship at Princeton.
Okay, fancy.
And he wasn't just teaching one subject. This guy was like a one-man university.
Right.
Courses on everything, natural history, architecture, you name it.
A true Renaissance man.
He really was. You know, decades later, Henry would look back at his time at Princeton, and he said he conducted several thousand original investigations.
Wow.
Clearly
Wow.
driven by this relentless curiosity.
It makes you wonder how he even had time to do it all.
Right. And that's where we have to acknowledge, the unsung heroes behind every great innovator.
Oh, yeah.
There's often a team of dedicated individuals working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In Henry's case, one of those individuals was Sam Parker, an African-American research assistant.
I don't know that name.
Crucial role in his lab.
It's so important to remember those figures, even if they aren't as well known.
Absolutely.
What can you tell us about Sam Parker and his work with Henry?
So Sam Parker was a free black man hired by Princeton to assist Henry.
Okay.
And he was involved in every aspect of the research,
Yeah.
setting up experiments, maintaining equipment,
Wow.
even served as a test subject for electrical demonstrations.
Oh, wow.
It was a different time, and ethical considerations were, well,
Different back then.
different back then. But, Henry's letters actually highlight Parker's immense value.
Oh.
He described Parker as indispensable. He even mentioned how his work just ground to a halt when Parker was ill.
Wow.
It really shows how much Henry relied on him and respected his contributions.
Absolutely. It's a great reminder that scientific progress relies on that collaboration, the efforts of a whole team.
Exactly.
It's not just one individual.
Rarely a solo endeavor. And speaking of teamwork, Henry's career path took another interesting turn. He was appointed the first secretary of the Smithsonian Institution.
Oh, wow. The Smithsonian. That's huge. It's amazing to think about him going from, hands-on experiments to shaping the direction of scientific exploration for a whole nation.
It really is.
What were some of the projects he focused on in this new role?
Well, one area that really captivated him was determining the temperature of the sun.
The sun.
He used a device called a thermopile to measure the heat radiating from different parts of the sun's surface.
Okay, hold on. How does a thermopile even work? That sounds like something out of, a sci-fi novel.
It's actually based on a pretty straightforward principle.
Yeah.
Certain metals, when they're joined together and exposed to a temperature difference, they generate a small electrical voltage.
Okay.
By measuring that voltage, you can calculate the temperature.
So it's like a heat-powered electric thermometer for the sun.
You got it.
What kind of discoveries did Henry make using this tool?
Well, he and his colleague, Professor Stephen Alexander, they discovered something pretty surprising. Sunspots.
Sunspots.
Those darker patches we see on the sun.
Yeah.
They're actually cooler than the surrounding areas.
That's surprising. I always thought sunspots were like, super hot explosions or something.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But their research provided really valuable insights into the complex nature of the sun,
Yeah.
solar activity, and their findings were later expanded upon by other astronomers, building on the foundation they laid.
So even in this administrative role, Henry was still pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge. His curiosity never faded.
Never faded.
But I am curious, his time at the Smithsonian also coincided with the Civil War.
Yeah.
A period of, immense upheaval in American history. Did this have any impact on his work at all?
Yes, absolutely. The Civil War deeply affected both Henry's personal life and his professional endeavors. His scientific pursuits continued,
Right.
but they often intersected with the needs and challenges of a nation at war.
So how did Henry's expertise contribute to the war effort?
Well, it might surprise you to learn that he played a role in the development of aeronautics,
Aeronautics.
specifically through his support of Thaddeus Lowe,
Okay.
a balloonist
A balloonist
who dreamed of making a transatlantic flight
in a balloon.
using a massive gas-inflated balloon.
Balloons in the Civil War. That sounds almost whimsical
I know.
amidst the seriousness of war.
It might seem strange, but balloons were actually a cutting-edge technology at the time.
Really?
They offered this unique vantage point, something that was extremely valuable in a military context.
I can see that, yeah.
So Henry, the champion of innovation, he saw the potential of using these balloons for strategic purposes.
So Henry's vision helped pave the way for using balloons in warfare.
He was a true visionary. When Lowe realized the war might disrupt his, transatlantic ambitions, he traveled to Washington, D.C. to offer his expertise to the federal government.
Okay.
And Henry was instrumental in this. Wrote a letter to the Secretary of War, endorsing Lowe's skills, highlighting the potential military applications of balloons.
So Henry's advocacy paid off.
It did. His support was crucial in the formation of the Union Army Balloon Corps,
Wow.
the first military air unit in U.S. history.
That's incredible.
It's quite a testament to Henry's ability to recognize and champion these promising new technologies,
Yeah.
even in fields outside his, primary area of expertise.
So we've seen Joseph Henry as the brilliant scientist, the dedicated educator, the influential institution builder, and now the advocate for military innovation.
It's quite the resume, isn't it?
Is there anything else to add to this impressive list?
Oh, there's more. He was deeply involved with the National Academy of Sciences, served as both vice president and president.
Oh, wow.
He truly had a hand in shaping the landscape of American science.
It's incredible how he managed to juggle all these roles and still maintain his passion for discovery.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling there's one more story we need to uncover.
Okay.
The story of his encounter with another iconic inventor.
Oh, you're talking about
This one involves a young Alexander Graham Bell.
Bell, the man who would go on to invent the telephone.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting.
Picture this, 1875, a young Alexander Graham Bell.
Okay.
Armed with a letter of introduction, he visits Henry at the Smithsonian,
Wow.
eager to share his ideas about transmitting human speech, electrically.
So at this point, Bell's telephone was still a work in progress.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
He demonstrated his early apparatus to Henry, described his concept of a harp apparatus. It used steel reeds tuned to different frequencies to try and cover the whole spectrum of the human voice.
Interesting idea.
Fascinating, but still pretty rudimentary.
Yeah. I can only imagine how exciting those early days of invention must have been.
Oh, absolutely.
So much potential, so many challenges.
And Henry, with his sharp eye for scientific progress,
Yeah.
he recognized the potential in Bell's work right away.
He did.
He told Bell, he said, "You have the germ of a great invention." But he also gave him some crucial advice.
Oh, what was that?
Cautioned him against, prematurely publicizing his ideas before he'd really perfected it.
That's such valuable advice, especially in that world. It's so competitive.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and want to share it,
Absolutely.
but timing is everything.
So true.
And Bell, aware of his own limitations, he expressed concern, that he lacked the knowledge to really fully realize his vision. He knew he had a groundbreaking idea,
Yeah.
but he wasn't quite sure how to bring it to fruition.
So what did Henry do? Did he offer to, collaborate with Bell?
He did something even better. In a moment that perfectly captures Henry's belief in the power of, perseverance, he simply told Bell, "Get it."
Wow. Got it.
A simple message,
Yeah.
but powerful, a call to action, encouraging Bell to keep pushing forward.
What a motivating push from a legend.
And Bell took it to heart, continued working tirelessly, refined his design,
Yeah.
eventually moved away from that harp apparatus idea
Okay.
towards a more practical solution.
And just a year later, he unveiled his working telephone.
At the Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia,
That must have been incredible for both of them.
it was a triumph of innovation. And guess who was one of the judges for the electrical exhibits at the exhibition?
Let me guess, Joseph Henry.
You got it. Henry got to witness firsthand the realization of that potential he saw in Bell just a year earlier.
Wow.
Must have been immensely rewarding to see someone he mentored achieve such a groundbreaking feat.
It speaks volumes about his character.
It really does.
Not just a brilliant scientist, but a champion of innovation, nurturing the seeds of progress in others.
And his support for Bell didn't stop there.
Oh,
He invited Bell to demonstrate his telephone again at the Smithsonian and
wow.
publicly praised the value and astonishing character of his invention.
That's amazing. Really a beautiful example of that collaborative spirit that drives scientific breakthroughs.
Absolutely.
So, from electromagnets and electric motors to advising a future telephone pioneer, Joseph Henry's impact on technology is undeniable.
There's no doubt about that.
He might not be a household name, but his discoveries have shaped the very fabric of our modern lives.
It's true.
His story reminds us that scientific progress is rarely a solitary pursuit.
It's a collaborative process,
Collaborative and incremental.
often building upon the work of those who came before.
Exactly. Henry's legacy lives on not just in the technologies, but in the spirit of inquiry, dedication to knowledge.
He embodied that.
A story of perseverance, ingenuity, and the power of human curiosity.
Unlocking the secrets of the universe.
And as we navigate this, increasingly technology-driven world, Joseph Henry's story offers valuable lessons
Absolutely.
about collaboration, mentorship, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge.
His work may have happened behind the scenes, but his impact
Is all around us.
quietly powering the technologies we rely on every day.
So the next time you pick up your phone,
Or flip a light switch.
hop on an electric train, take a moment to remember Joseph Henry, the unsung hero of electromagnetism.
A true pioneer